giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Good morning. Is it? Good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live, presented by the Cochran Firm and Boston Scientific. Streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! It's cool. It's cool. Cowboys take the L. Fall to 4-2. And I ain't tripping. But we'll talk about it. We're going to talk about, I'm not going to say everything because we're on a time crunch today. My apologies, Cowboys Nation. But we'll discuss it. I'll open up the lines. We will talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. We got to get through it, right? We got to get through it. It's all good, man. It's all good. In the roundup, we got an update. Dak Prescott update. Got some history that was made. We'll get through that. But make sure you call in and get in where you can fit in today. Probably not going to be as long as I would want it to be. But we got some obligations at the top at 10 o'clock. So I got to be out of here in about an hour, unfortunately, Cowboys. So here's what I'm going to do. Shout out to y'all for being here. Bomb Squad! Whew, I'm still trying to recover from last night in the sense of getting home super late and being up super early. But that is the way of the land. Shout out to Miss Charlene. Hit the cash out, Miss Charlene. God dang. Appreciate y'all already with the donation.
Super chat.
$100 donation says, good morning. Well, $99.99. Good morning, Sky. This team is not disciplined. We'll talk about it. Cowboys made crucial penalties at the worst times. And if you want to donate tax free, hit up the Cash App. Money sign Chillwill 1026. Appreciate the donation there, Miss Charlene. Yep, we're going to get into that. We are going to get into that. We're going to get into all of the things in regards to this game. Like I said, there is some good to take out of it, the bad and the downright ugly. So here's what we're going to do, because, again, like I said, we're on the time crunch, y'all, and I want to get y'all in here. I know y'all got a lot to say, and on Mondays, I like to hear from y'all, and then we start breaking the game down the next day. So let's hit this roundup. Let's come out of this. I'm going to give y'all my good, bad, and ugly, and let's wrap.
It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Oh, they do it! Hey, oh, they do it!
Hey, yo. Dak gonna be back next week. Dak Prescott will be back next week is the way it's looking. That's the way it's looking. He spoke with the media after the game yesterday. He went through that rehab in the pregame where he threw about 50 passes and he looked like he was fine. Looked like he was throwing them good. He was under center, taking snaps. Everything looked kosher. McCarthy said he had a good day on Saturday as well. He participated in the 7-on-7 sequences and down in the red zone. And according to McCarthy, he took the next step. Dak quoted, "That's my plan on returning next week. I got to see the doc. I got to see them. But yes, that's my plan. I plan on getting in my full week of practice," which McCarthy said the real practice starts Thursday, not Wednesday, due to the late game and getting in late Monday morning. So, and we'll get to it. Just believe me. Looks like QB1 will be back against Detroit. Dalton Schultz was not necessarily a surprise out on yesterday, Sunday night, but he sat, rested his knee as he should, and once again, the rookie showed up. The rookie tight ends combined for 6 receptions, 62 yards, and 1 touchdown. Both getting receptions for over 10 yards, and Ferguson on a great move after the catch in the red zone to get Dallas into the end zone. So I think these tight ends are fine, especially asking what we're asking of them. Schultz, I really think they should look at this game. They should look at the Giants game, and they should say, take your time, bro. Get healthy. Listen, Schultz is what he is. I would love to have the depth when he returns later in the season, but go ahead. I'd put him on IR, just flat out. Put him on IR, let him rest up, give him 4 weeks, come on back later, and let's see what happens, because these rookie tight ends are more than enough to get by for what you're asking these guys to do. Thought they played well yesterday. Can't wait to look at the tape from overall, but had a good game. And then finally, Zeke made history yesterday. And it's funny because not only did he make history, but he was really the run game, and we'll talk about it in a second, was one of the bright spots of yesterday. He rushed for 81 yards, 6.2 yards per carry. So he was trucking along. Scored a touchdown, and he became the third running back in Cowboys history, joining Emmitt Smith and Tony Dorsett to eclipse 10,000 total yards. That was a quintessential Ezekiel Elliott game if the score didn't get out of hand early on. I truly do believe that. I think Zeke would have rushed for over 100 yards. He'd have had about his little 20 carries in a game, and I think he would have had like $120 or something like that, but just didn't work out that way due to how the game started. And we'll get into it. But shout out to Zeke. I mean, he made history, man. Third player in Cowboys. And the Cowboys running back history is illustrious. So this is a big deal for Zeke. Shout out to him. 10,000 yards eclipsed, and much more to go. Much more to go. All right, that's out the way.
They ask you one day that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
We do have to acknowledge we was getting whooped by these boys. But it's okay, Cowboys Nation. We will bounce back. We will bounce back. All right. Let's start off with the good, shall we? Let's start off with the good real quick. The good, the bad, the ugly of the game. And I think the good is obviously the running game. That stood out the most. And there's a few others, but I want to detail the running game. 26 carries, 134 yards, got the touchdown. They averaged 5.2 yards per carry. And here's why I want to feature this today as the good. It wasn't just the production of the run game, but the fact that they stuck with it. One of the things I wanted to see was what happens when Cooper Rush eventually has to come back, number one, and what happens to Kellen Moore if the game script doesn't go as planned as it has been the last few games. And it didn't. Dallas got down fast, 14-0, obviously 17-0, then 20-0. If you go and look at the touchdown drives in the second half when Cowboys got that crucial third down stop to get the rock back, it was on the backs of the run game. They ran the ball 14 times in those two possessions where they scored touchdowns to get back into this game. 14 times. And off of that, they ran play action 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. That was the only time there was any semblance of an offense, any flow of an offense, was during the time they ran the rock and ran play action off of it. Cooper Rush just dropping straight back and getting through his reads. It wasn't working in that game. It took play action to get him going. It took the run game to get him going and settled down. So to rush for 130 yards in a game where you're down 20-0 and get back in this game to 17-20 on the backs of your run game, I got to label that as a good. And it's a rarity. It's a rarity that this happens. The Cowboys lost the game rushing for over 130 yards. They weren't sacked. And all of their rushes were positive gains. The Eagles did not have a tackle for loss all game. Not one. I don't know, you know how they have the Elias stat books and they got all the ESPN probably has something like this. When was the last time Dallas lost a game where they rushed for 130 plus yards, They were not sacked. And they didn't have a negative play besides penalty. We're going to get to the penalties. That rarely happens. We know why they lost, but that rarely happens. So that's my good. And then also the tight ends we talked about. And then Kevontae Turpin put the Cowboys in position a couple times here to get on the board, which actually the one return got them in position to score at the end of the half, I think it was. But they got three out of it, so it is what it is. The bad. There's a lot of that. That much ugly. A lot of bad, though. More third down issues. Cowboys continue to struggle on third downs. 4 for 10, 40%. They were 1 for 6 in the first half. We keep talking about this because it's been a talking point literally every game. Hardly do you say that, but every single game the Cowboys have been poor on third down. That has to change moving forward. Penalty problems crept back up. 10 penalties today or last night was the highest since week 1. And it wasn't just the penalties. It was the nature of the penalties. Some of them BS. That's going to happen. It's the Cowboys. Some of them you can control. You can control. Dante Fowler can't have it. You cannot have it in this type of game. And that also falls back on what I was saying at halftime yesterday. When you require your defense to play almost perfect, you can't have that. And it just crept back up on the Cowboys. I don't know where to put that blame at because some of it was boneheaded mistakes. How can I get mad at the coach for Dante Fowler jumping off sides whenever we're going to, you know what I mean? So we'll look and we'll see more. I didn't like some of the holding calls. It is what it is. Kelvin Joseph has got to keep his head. Bullcrap taunting penalty. But nonetheless, when you look in the stat sheet, it says 10. Can't have it. Won't have it. Awareness. Early game awareness. Where I can put this on coaching. You get a first down by CeeDee Lamb on third down. It was a first down. It was close enough. To me, I'm throwing the challenge flag. Bullcrap spot. Happens. They do this all the time. Ask my brother. I've been saying this for years. I feel like referees just don't give the Cowboys the benefit of the doubt when it comes to the spot. Whatever. It was close enough to challenge. His explanation was long-winded. Ridiculous explanation, in my opinion. I don't care what the referees are saying. They clearly aren't changing their spot. It was close enough. It was 14-0. For a number of reasons, you should have thrown the challenge flag or called it, bang the timeout. Boom, timeout. Let's settle down. Get a chance to look at it in the booth. Oh, throw the challenge flag. Or you could have just threw the challenge flag, settled you guys down. They would have saw you got the first down, and now we keep it trucking. So your early game awareness from a game management standpoint crept back up. We hadn't seen this all year. There really wasn't a point in time in this game, in any of these games, where the game management aspect of this team from Coach McCarthy was called into question. Unless you're talking play calling. And then finally, what I think is one of the more underrated or underlying issues with the Cowboys all year, 5 of the 6 games that no one's really talking about is losing the time of possession battle. And again, I said 5 of the 6 games. They have lost the time of possession battle. And it hasn't been like, 30 minutes to 30 minutes to 30 seconds. Nah, they've been losing it by a decent little margin. And that stems back from what? Not staying on the field, sustaining drives. They haven't scored, and correct me if I'm wrong, y'all, but they haven't scored more than 2 touchdowns all year. Right? All year. We're going to week 7. When's the last time that's happened? You know, whether it be special teams, whether it be a defense, offense combined, I don't think they scored 3 touchdowns all year. So when you're not sustaining drives, when you're not getting in the red zone, when you're not scoring, that means you're getting off the field offensively and putting your defense on the field. They're eventually going to wear down. And that's what happened. That's also part of the bad, if you want to be honest, was the RPO. They did not handle the RPO well. The Eagles never were in position. We talk about it all the time. There's 2 ways to take a team out of running the ball. Get up on them by scoring, making them one-dimensional, or completely shutting them down. Neither of those things happened, so the Eagles had no pressure to throw the ball. So they just kept running RPOs, kept possessing the time, and they had 2 possessions. Let's just be real. But those 2 possessions were critical. And that goes back to your defense having to be perfect. And they were anything but in this game. Still not putting it all on them, but they were anything but in this game. So 3rd downs, RPO defense, time of possession continues to be an issue in early game awareness. And now the ugly, the obvious. Cooper Rush. We knew at some point he wasn't going to escape the luck of not turning the ball over. Every quarterback does. But what you didn't want to happen was it to just go upside down on its head like it did last night. 3 ugly interceptions, 47% completion, average less than 5 yards per attempt. If you go back and you go look at our X factors from Friday, we talked about this not being a Cooper Rush game, but a Kellen Moore game. But Cooper Rush was going to have to make those 4 or 5 plays within this game to win it. That wasn't the case. In fact, he did the opposite early on and put the team in a 20-0 deficit that pretty much lost the game. Let's just be completely honest. They fought back. They absolutely did. And kudos to them for fighting back. But you can't do that, right? You can't be 3 for or 5. What was it? 5 for 18 or whatever it was in the first half, 36 yards and 2 interceptions. That can't happen. Not against a good team, not against a good offense, not against a good defense. But QB1 will be back. And before we super crush Cooper Rush, bars, it was bound to happen. This was going to happen at some point. It just happened to happen against the goddamn Eagles, and I really didn't want it to happen against this team. Why couldn't this happen a couple weeks ago, and now we bounce back? But hey, it is what it is. He did his job. He kept the team afloat with Dak out. Went 4-1. I think we would all, if you said after week 1 the Cowboys would be 4-2 when Dak returns, we'd all take it. But can we put to bed the BS discussion? Do I have to acknowledge that? We're smarter than this, Cowboys Nation. Do I have to acknowledge half of this fan base a bit delusional? They already call us delusional, but that conversation was delusional. Let's just be completely honest. We don't got to acknowledge that, do we? No, we don't. He did it. He did enough. He did enough, and we'll leave it at that. But don't ever do that again, Cowboys. Don't ever do that again, Cowboys Nation. Please. And I'll let y'all take over from there. So that's the good, the bad, the ugly. Cowboys leave this game 4-2. We talked about this in the pregame show. Really, to me, there wasn't a ton of pressure on Dallas. This was all on Philly. Philly loses this game. They fall to 2nd or 3rd place in the NFC East. Dallas jumps to the top with the backup quarterback. I personally thought the pressure was not on the Cowboys because they lose this game. You got to see the Cowboys again in Dallas in December, where that could mean for everything in the NFC East. But the game Giants ain't going nowhere. So I'm not tripping. I'm really not. It's something we'll look at the film today. We'll talk about it tomorrow. And we'll see how we move forward against the Detroit Lions, man. But you have a good chance here to get into the bye week at 6-2. And if you would have told me that before the season, we all take it. All right. But this is a week-to-week league, and we'll discuss it. So here we go, Cowboys Nation. And please, if you do feel like we should stick with Cooper Rush, call in. I would love to hear why. With that said, let's hit these phone lines. Pulse in the Nation phone lines presented by the Cochran Firm. Since 2005, our guys, Larry and Brian over at the Cochran Firm, have been fighting, defending, and serving the DFW area community. They handle the most challenging civil cases involving personal injury, wrongful death, fraud, truck, and automobile accidents, which are high in Dallas. So if you're involved in any of that or just need some legal advice, hit up the Cochran Firm at 1-800-THE-FIRM or schedule your free consultation today at CochranTexas.com. Let's do it. We got James from Cali on the horn. What's good, man?
Hey, what's up, man?
What up with you?
Yeah, a couple of things that I know, because I don't know everything. I'm cool with somebody saying, it wasn't like. I think we all knew. I think, like you kind of said already, that this game was going to happen. We just hope it wouldn't have happened against the Eagles, but like you did. But I hope not down on the defense. Defense kind of put,
you keep going in and out, James. I'm not sure if you're driving under a mountain, but you keep going in and out or something.
Nope. No, it's my phone. My phone's got a crack in the screen, and here, let me just do this real quick. All right, let me see if that's any better. Is that any better?
Yeah, keep going.
Bit?
Yeah.
Okay, so and then the other thing is Kelvin Joseph, like you said, he's got to watch those stupid penalties. He had two personal flag calls on him, 2 15-yard penalties, I do believe. And then the last thing is
he had 2 penalties, a holding and a.
Okay, I thought it was. I heard you say 2.
He had 2 penalties. One was personal foul. One was.
And then the last thing. Yeah. Then the last thing is, and this is where I think they baited Cooper Rush, is he likes to stare down his receivers. I've noticed. In other words, like when he snaps the ball and goes to one side of the field, he stays that way. He never looks the other direction. And
because he doesn't read
with that, because his arm strength didn't help out either.
Because contrary to popular belief of the people who dislike QB1, he does not read the field well. I don't know why people thought that. If you popped on the tape, he's literally reading this. It's one read or it's one half of the field, and usually it's an inaccurate pass after that. But he's a backup quarterback, and these people were trying to push him to somewhere where he's not because of their dislike and disdain for the quarterback one. It's always been about if you believe the way that this offense of identity is flowing. Why on God's green earth would you think a better player wouldn't help it more? Well, we know they have an agenda. That's why. But, listen, it was going to happen. This is a good defense. It's a good offense that puts pressure on you.
Exactly. And then the last thing real quick, though, Guy, is do you, when you said if we go into the bye, we get 6-2, I don't think anybody could have crossed off that. So I'm happy with that.
Well, we got to get there. I said if we get to the bye, I think we all would take that, right? What I'm saying is if you would have told me after week 1 we're 4-2, I ain't complaining. I ain't complaining at all.
No, me neither. But we do get Dak back, and I'll just say this, and hopefully I don't step too far when I say this. With the way that we played, I kind of want to believe, man, that if Dak would have been played in this game, I think we might have been able to pull this one out. Might have been close, but I think we might have been able to pull it out.
If you're talking about him never getting hurt and we go into week 6 with him with 5 games,
that's belt, what I'm playing. What if?
Hell yeah. We'll see. We're gonna take a look at the tape here, but I'm with you. I think you walk away with this dub.
All right, man. Well, hey, you have a good. I think you said you was heading out somewhere. Well, be safe, my friend.
Oh no, I actually am, but I got a lot going on. Mondays and Tuesdays are stupid, and Wednesdays for that matter are stupid busy.
Right, you have a busy Monday, so that's what I'm saying. Just be careful.
Appreciate you, James.
Whatever you're doing.
Thank you, brother.
All right, my man. Appreciate you being here Mondays for us.
Thank you, sir. All right, let's get to Reek. Let's go, Reek.
Hey, what's going on, Skywalker Still?
What's up with your family?
What's going on, Cowboy Nation? What's going on, Cowboy Nation? Hey, man, you win some, you lose some, man. We live to fight another day. Cowboy fans, we shouldn't hold our heads down, man. We wasn't even supposed to be in this game last night. We came back. We showed some fight. We showed some grit. Big Yazua slammed somebody on on his head. I like that at the end of the game because I like that. It shows heart that we gonna keep fighting. But it is some things that need to be shored up on this team, man. The aggressiveness of this offense in the first half, man. We should have been running the ball on these cats, man. They soft. You know what I mean? They did their thing against a backup quarterback, and they sticking their damn chest out like they won the damn Super Bowl. We beat them 2 times last year, and we beat them with class. We wasn't doing all that bragging and all that stuff. That we beat them. We watched them. and we seen signs that we still can watch them. You know what I mean? They just they jumped on us early, and the refs was helping them out a little bit too. I hate to say that, but it's the truth. Mike McCarthy made a bonehead play, but that's cool. That's cool. You learn from your losses, man. You know what I mean? It's about what you're gonna do when you see them again. See, they for some reason they think they're not gonna see us again, and they might not hit that same team again. It might be a way better team by the time we see them again. Kellen Moore needs to get better at what he's doing, because the way he's calling the offense, too much in passing. You want this dude, you want your backup quarterback to be Peyton Manning or somebody. It don't work like that against defenses like that. You should have played to your strength. Run the damn ball. Be creative and run the ball. And the two young tight ends, you know what I'm saying? We got better at the end of the game. And as far as the defense, I told you, man, and I'm gonna land my plane here. I've been telling y'all, man, LVE is not the answer for that middle of the field linebacker. He's not the damn answer. This dude is not aggressive.
Rick.
You've seen it.
Rick,
You've seen it in the last.
Let me tell you how funny you is. I'm not an LVE fan. Let me just tell you how funny you is. You ain't bring up LVE one time last week. Not one. Not one. And then this week, I'm gonna be honest with you, just off of first observations watching the game, it wasn't LVE that seemed to be the problem here. Now, I'm not saying he had an amazing game, brother. I'm not saying that. But we're going to go back and watch the tape. And I'm not capping for LV or nothing, but I'm going to tell you right now, man, your defensive ends got schooled. You missed some tackles, and Dan Quinn didn't have an answer for the RPO, brother. But we'll see. We're going to go look at the film. But if you coming on here to try to, yell and scream at LVE, my man, there was a lot more issues than that from my first view.
Yeah. I hear you, man, but I'm just saying. I know on that last drive that they went down and scored on us, the first play they ran directly at him. He got pushed
They ran
back.
directly at Micah Parsons. If we want to be completely honest, they put Micah in the blender, okay. And I love Micah Parsons, but I think you're. This doesn't shock me. I just think it's funny as well.
Well, hey man, I'm gonna be me, man. Hey, I still want LVE off the field. That's just me, and Jordan Lewis too. I want Bland there, man. You know what I mean? Because he got bullied last night. As far as one of the corners, he got bullied. But that's all I gotta say though, man. Other than that, we fought, and that's all I asked for with this team. Win, lose, or draw, as long as we fight and we fought. So yeah. I'm cool with that. All right then, peace.
All right, man. I'm sorry to laugh. Because Rick didn't say nothing about LVE last week. Nothing. We lose with the quarterback throwing 3 picks and them just killing us with the RPO. Micah's in the blender. Dante's in the blender. Interior's in the blender. LVE! We'll go look at the tape, man. And y'all know I'm no LVE fan. I just find that interesting. That's the first guy we talk about here. The other thing is, defensively, they only threw for 155 yards passing. What 155? 155. 6 yards per attempt. We'll go back and watch. There was the missed tackle by AB on the one-on-one where he, great play, whatever. There was the other great design to A.J. Brown, sent him behind the line of scrimmage. Other than that, they had a couple good series in the first half, but again, just initial watching. Pass defense was the run defense yesterday, y'all. It was the RPO defense yesterday. That's what I mean. Just off of first watching, yeah, there were some plays, but 67 yards, 44 yards for A.J. Brown and Devontae. If you go into the game and say they're going to combine for 67 and 44 yards. Now, their touchdowns came in the red zone with 2 fantastic play designs. 2 great play designs. Sneaking A.J. Brown behind line of scrimmage, RPO. And then another RPO putting, I believe that was on Dono in a tough position. Dono bites up. Devontae Smith gets behind him, touchdown. I think you would have took that. Problem is, You wouldn't take 136 yards on 39 carries. That becomes the issue. All right, I'm going to lock these up because we'll be here all day. Let's get to, oh, man, 100 grand. Interesting. 100 grand calling in. I know he got some fire. What's good, brother?
Listen, man. Cooper Rush threw 3 picks. You can't put your defense in those short fields. You can't do that.
Can't do it. Yeah, you can't do it.
And another, they picked on Michael Parsons all night.
On that RPO.
Whatever he did, they did the opposite. And Dan Quinn got out coached, man.
Yeah.
They picked on Michael Parsons in the first half, and they adjusted in the second half. But the first half, they picked on that boy. And another thing with the defense, this was the first time we went up against a running quarterback.
Well, I'll tell you what. We had no problem with him running. We really had no issue with him running. He didn't run well against the Cowboys at all in that game. The problem was the threat of him running in the RPO is what played mind games with this defense. And I say it all the time, and that's why I hope when we get Dak back, they incorporate some of this shit because it holds that defensive end, right? It makes him make a decision. It holds that linebacker. It makes him make a decision. And there's no better offensive line coach in the game, maybe except for Bill Callahan, than Jeff Stoutland. And they have a fantastic scheme, attached to that RPO.
Yeah. And another reason, he could have got sacked at least 3 or 4 times tonight if it wasn't for his legs. I'm talking about Jalen Hurts.
He got sacked 4 times. You sacked him.
No, but I'm saying he would have got sacked more, though.
Sure.
But he got out of those with his legs. That's what I'm saying. That could have changed the tide of the game by itself as well. And that RPO is a beast, man.
The RPO is a beast, yeah.
When our MO is, we gonna get the passer. We gonna get the passer. You can't do that against Jalen Hurts, man. You gotta hold. You can't do that because you don't know what they're gonna do. And the majority of what he did last night was run that football. Jalen Hurts did not go back and throw the ball, and when he did throw the ball, he was quick with it. Boom, 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 because he knew that pass rush was coming.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's a learning thing for Dan Quinn when we play quarterbacks like that. That's going to quick pass us and got legs and
I'll try to let y'all just talk and get your points out, but I'm having a hard time. I feel like you watched a different game. Jalen Hurts didn't hurt you with his legs, like at all. Even when he was scrambling and getting away from sacks, he was throwing the ball out of bounds or something like that, or throwing it away. I mean, Jalen Hurts did not make a major play with his legs in that game, not one, bro. Like you held him in check. What you didn't hold in check was the running game off of that and the RPO option, right. The passing options off of the RPO. That's what hurts you. I don't believe Jalen Hurts' legs hurt you physically. I think it hurt you mentally. They pressured him all game. They did a fantastic job pressuring. Jalen Hurts honestly never looked comfortable to me. He never looked comfortable. He looked like, man, I am in for a long day. I'm getting hit, I'm getting sacked, and I'm having a hard time here. So they just decided on 2 possessions, we're gonna run the ball 90% of the time, and it worked.
The whole second half, they ran that football, man. They ran the football. That RPO worked when they ran that football, and that's and they knew they had to do that. Was run the ball. I said Jalen Hurts ain't gonna pass the ball. He's not. He's gonna run that football and milk that clock, and that's exactly what they did, and that's how they won that game. Other than our quarterback being bad. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of these fans. Season's over. But we got Dak Prescott. I believe we got a chance in that game because Dak Prescott's going to use his legs. We can use that RPO game too with Dak Prescott. And I'm telling you this right now. When the Eagles played Kyler Murray and they had to go up against that same RPO, what happened with the Eagles? Dogfight. Almost lost the game if it wasn't for the kicker. I believe we beat the Eagles if we got if we got Dak Prescott using his legs, using that RPO, and making the tight throws and the accurate throws that our backup quarterback did not make last night.
100.
I truly believe that.
I don't. It's nothing. You ain't saying nothing crazy, brother.
All right, man.
That's 100 grand, man. Keeping it a bean. Yeah, I mean, I don't think who would argue that the Cowboys have a better shot with that. I'm with anybody that believes that. Again, we'll get the tape today and we'll see the opportunities. Usually, we come away from the game with a handful of ops. That's probably every game, but it's definitely over the last 5 weeks. So we'll take a look. Yeah, I listen. I think the threat of him running, the mental aspect of Jalen Hurts running was more prevalent in that game than him actually running. And they played off of that. They did a fantastic job with the RPO stuff, man. I trust Quinn to figure something out next time they play these guys, because you go look at the schedule, you're not going to see a team like that. We said this in the post-game show. Not many teams make you play 11 on 11 ball in the run game. Not many. Right? And it was always about corralling this run, because if you corral the run, Jalen Hurts, listen, he's improved, but I think he's a regular quarterback. He got a live arm and things like that, but you could see in that game, man, he did not really want to throw the ball. He didn't. The Cowboys' defensive line was getting after him. I don't know how many pressures it ended up being, but he was sacked 4 times, and I'm pretty sure he was pressured double that, if not more. He just couldn't stop the run. And when we talked about keys to the game or X factors or whatever, that was one of the things. You got to be able to corral this run, man. Let's get to my rating, brother. What's good, man?
Hey, good morning, and God bless you and your family and the show.
Thank you.
Cowboy Nation, we got to look at it like this. They defense played good, but with Dak, I know we beat them. First of all, Mike McCarthy had to challenge that one play with CD, because that was a first down. He was letting the momentum get too fast for him. You understand what I'm saying? He had to slow down the pace. Because if he would at least challenge that play, and the defense, and if we would have got that first down, the defense would have got to rest. You can't give an offense like that short field advantage, because every time we was getting a short field advantage. But Dallas defense, we good. We got to show up that run, and there was a lot of penalties that went against us that hurted us too.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's the way I see it.
Yep.
And that part. But, go ahead.
Nope, I'm saying, yep, you're right. The penalties were a killer.
And then also, too, you know, I'd rather force to suffer now and then at the end laugh later. Because everybody in Eagle Nation, you know how it is. You from PA. They're around here walking, talking big and everything. But I know once we get that back in, we'll beat them. I know we can beat them. Because like you said, Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback, but he's not this quarterback that we really got to fear. We just got to play good defense. That's all I got for today. And God bless you and the family and the show like always, and keep up the good work.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you, dog. You know, the Eagles, and he's right. The Eagles fans are. I already went on. I'm seeing the messages and all that stuff. You know, they beat Ben DiNucci and Cooper Rush the last 2 times. Congratulations. You also lost to Andy Dalton, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, you handled your business. We're not. I'm not going to take anything away from them. They did what they were supposed to do here. All things considered, hopefully everybody is healthy and good to go for the Eagles and Cowboys come week whatever that is, 16. Where I personally think that game will matter. I do. But congratulations, you beat Ben DiNucci and Cooper Rush. When is the last time they've beaten Dak Prescott Cowboys? I know he's like 7-3 in his career against them, but in reality, it's like 6-2 because they won a game where we was resting and Dak started and it goes down as a loss because of a series. And then we won a game where they were resting. I believe we won 6-0 in 2017. I don't really count for much, but you don't really lose to these dudes. So it is what it is. Let him have it. Set it off, Chris. What's good, bro?
Hey, what's good, man? How you feeling, bro? Good show last night, man. Really, really good show.
The show was really during the game, but well, I'm good. I'm not tripping at all.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I feel you. You just said what I was thinking too. You beat Cooper Rush and Ben DiNucci, so you beat a guy who's no longer in the league, and you beat another guy who wasn't on the football team when they turned around and cut people. So you beat my backup.
Right.
I just don't like the narrative how we turn around, or how Lusadelphia fans are. Oh, you beat our third stringers. I just want to say this on YouTube so it'll be forever out there. Ain't nobody got 22 third stringers in the NFL on a 53-man damn roster. So stop saying that shit out loud because you sound stupid. No team has 22 damn third stringers that they paying to just sit around. So stop that, okay? You got your ass kicked last year twice by 30 points. You beat me by 9 points in your building, and Cooper played his worst game. So be it. Enjoy it. Stay on top of your game because I don't want no bullshit come week 16 when you come to Dallas and, oh, we resting everybody. Oh, this, that, and the third. I don't want to hear none of that shit. Run that shit back when Rain's playing. That's all I really care about, man. If we would have won last night, they would have burned Philadelphia down last night. They would have been in total – it would have been bedlam. They'd have burned that damn city down. You lost to Cooper Rush. Eagles sure have been crying her ass off, and I'd have been sitting here cracking up.
It'd have been more questions. An Eagles loss would have opened up way more questions for them than a Cowboys loss.
Absolutely. Oh, the only question you got to figure out is how we get this other 30-40% of this damn fan base to be in love with this whole football team and quit being in love with Tony Romo because of the way he got replaced.
Your brain's going to explode if you try to find out that answer. So.
Yeah, can't even do it. But hey, man, I like the fact that the adjustment. I would have liked the adjustment earlier with the double team blocking in the run game because you got Zeke loose, you got Tony loose. I didn't understand, and I know I'm gonna watch the film too. Why they didn't attack the middle of the field? The middle of the field's wide open on this team, so that'll be something that I think Mike and Kellen will go back and look at because the middle of the field was open all night. If Chris Collinsworth can see it, God dang it, I know you and I can see it, and I know they should be able to see it as well.
Well, I couldn't see it on broadcast view. I'll take a look at it from the all-22 view. It's really hard to see. It's hard to see it.
Yeah, so they really didn't attack the middle of the field. And then lastly, the one knock that they always had on Micah coming out of school was him reading the RPO because he's so aggressive. So last night he got caught in something. Here's the great thing about this kid. He's going to realize that. He's going to go back and dissect it. And I guarantee you don't get beat like that again.
That's
the beautiful thing about him.
Let me say something about that. Let me say something about that because, and again, we'll go back and we'll watch. But I'm just remembering. I haven't rewatched it. I haven't done any of that just yet. But I'm just remembering.
Okay.
The handful of times Micah got caught with the RPO, I don't necessarily think it was because he was taking bait on eye candy. I think it was just the fact that, all right, we're going at defensive end. We're going to make you make a decision. Either you come to the quarterback or you go to the running back. And that to me isn't you got caught with the eye candy. That to me is we are putting pressure on you to make a decision. If you come down on the running back, I'll pull it to run. If you don't, I hand it off to the running back, and that's how you get success. And then in the passing game, again, I'll go back and watch, but I think it was like 2 or 3 times where he got caught in the pass coverage. What happened was you get the RPO, and I thought he played that well, and then he attacks the quarterback. So the quarterback goes, he's scrambling around, or he does his he's not scrambling, but he's moving to his right. Now Mike is in a bind. Do I go attack the quarterback, or do I fall back and try to help in coverage against wide ass open? Who was it? AJ Brown. Again, I don't think that's necessarily the eye candy that got him. I just think that's the design that got him. Now, there will probably be plays him at linebacker where that happened. Because let's remember, the RPO got him at linebacker in college. At linebacker. I'm curious.
Right.
I'm curious how often that happened at linebacker in yesterday's game, where it was the eye candy that got him and not the scheme up front from Jeff Stoutland that got him. That's something we got to go back and take a look at.
I think going back to what you said, and I think you're spot on. the scheme was they put him in a bind, especially with the two plays of A.J. Brown. They ran him across the front of his face. So he either attacks him and Brown's out the back door. So that's a scheme thing. And that's one of those things that Quinn will go back into the lab and say, okay, I got it. Okay, I missed out on this. Okay, I missed out on that. But at the end of the day, the defensive ends were crashing. They were having to make a decision on that RPO, and it just comes better. I think it's better. I think that's always the gist of that system. You're going to take it on the outside, but I still think – go ahead.
No, they just did a fantastic job putting him in a bind. But again, I'll go back and watch it, but I don't recall too many plays where I'm like, oh, Micah got tricked or what have you, right? Like
he got smart.
They put him in a position to where you come up and get this quarterback, I'm throw it over top of you. If you don't, I'm going to run it. You come up, get the quarterback, or if not, I'm going to hand it off to Miles Sanders and we'll get 5-6 yards. So,
right. And I think that was another thing where they let I think it was the Gladwell kid and Sanders kind of run inside where, they were getting, Kelsey was able to get off the ball and get to the second level. And, I don't even want to pile on how Reed do. I don't care who that was. It could have been Mike Singletary. If they get caught in the middle like that, they're going to get caught in the middle like that, especially if the center gets up on them in the second level. So LVE played, and listen, across the board, it wasn't a bad game. It was just a reaction to some different things that we hadn't seen just yet. But the beautiful part about it is, guess what? You got to run it back. There's not a lot of it's creative in the run game, but once you shut down to a certain extent, you got to be able to do something else and throw the football. And I'm not really that worried about their wide receivers on our DBs like that. Goddard had maybe one good catch. The tight end had a couple of small catches. But they are not pressing the ball 30, 40, 50 yards down the field. They 10, 12, 15 yards, catch and go. And so it is what it is. We'll take the deal. I'm just so excited about getting back and how he's going to carry on forward. And then we'll go from there. But great show, man. Great show. I'm going to continue to listen, man. Everybody keep your head up, man. Keep your dang head up, bro. You 4-2. You could have never – I ain't going to say about y'all. I didn't imagine after week 1 we lost that we'd be in this position right now. I was already starting to look at damn draft paperwork. I was already starting to look at more college tape because I was like, okay, what do we need? Because
1 week
we were
at
going
a
to be out of the race.
Week to week, man. 1 week at a time. 1 week at a time.
Yeah,
That's how you got to take this thing.
I mean, hey, man. Yeah, you're right. I'm learning. I got a hard head, but I'm gonna get out the way, man, because I know we got a lot of callers. Man, everybody wants to start out, man. Good talking to you, bro.
Appreciate it, Chris. One thing that stuck out to me, I said it in the post game show, is there wasn't a single time. I said it actually at the top of the show. There wasn't a single moment in this game where you forced Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni, whoever their play caller is over there, to abandon the run in a possession. Not one, because they really, it's crazy because they got chunk yardage, like everybody, man. They got chunk yardage. Let me see here. He had a long run of 13 from Miles. Jalen had the 12-yard scamper. Kenneth Gainwell had a 9-yard. Boston Scott had 8 yards. That's relatively successful runs, right? But overall, they rushed for less than 4 yards per carry, 3.5 to be exact. Now, maybe some of that has to do with Jalen Hurts. I think he had like 3 3rd-and-1s where you push the pocket. Whatever, though, that goes down. But when you don't take them out of it, they'll just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. And that's what they did, man. You never put pressure on them. Not once. We got Nacho 325, and I want to say that's Mel, but I'm not sure. So hold tight, 213. Nacho, what's up with you, man?
My man Sky, hey, listen. Good morning, the blessings. Hey, listen, I tell you what, I'm excited. Let me tell you why I'm excited. What I had envisioned happening last night happened. I was thinking a 24-17, 23-20 type of a ball game. And last night I think this is going to be a good thing for our football team going forward. In that it's a learning lesson. It was pretty obvious that the RPO was what did us in last night. We were behind the 8 ball in the first half. We made amazing adjustments in the second half. I was really excited about that. And you saw our team, really fighting back, where it could have been really easy to just basically say we're down 17-20 and we're done, hostile environment. But this team showed their true, we came back with a vengeance. And we had them on the ropes. And you could feel Jalen kind of going like, oh, shoot, they're coming. I'm getting hit. And what I liked was that, there was a point where I thought, okay, are we going to revert back to just pass happy? And here we go with all these turnovers. And now we're forcing Cooper Rush to do more than what we've asked him up to this point. And no, we stuck with the run. And Zeke had a good night for the most part. I think it's time. I think it's time. And I'm just going to throw this out there just because on my end, it was a narrative, media driven that was just keep going. And I was just like, stop. There is no quarterback controversy. But for those who were Dak haters and just waiting for this Cooper Rush mania to do what it's got to do, okay, you know what? I'll tell you what. He did a hell of a job, 4-1 as a backup, put us in a great position at 4-2 as we look forward to the next 2 games in the bye week. Dak is ready to go. He's amped up. Him now coming back strengthens our football team, period. And I think from now on, I think we're going to be ready to go. I think this football team needed that. We needed a loss like that. You live and learn. This is the team that's going to battle for the NFC. You know what I mean? That's the way I see it.
Yeah, I don't agree with the last part. But, yeah, I listen. Good call. Nacho, appreciate you calling in, man. I think we'll be all right.
All right. Thank you, Mama. Thank you.
Needed a loss. I'm not trying to hang on every word, but when I hear I'm excited we lost. We needed a loss. This is good for the team. Makes my skin crawl. No. Everything else you said, I kind of agree with there, but no. Never need a loss. Maybe if you're like 16-0, going into the last game of the season, maybe then you're like, we don't want to get this thing out the way. We don't want to go to playoffs with this damn pressure. But no. They didn't need it. They don't mind that it happened because you're 4-2. But man, could you imagine getting this one? Gritty as it would have been. And then now you get your quarterback back. Now you're going, man. So apologies, Nacho, for sticking to that. But that just makes my skin crawl when I hear good loss or we needed a loss or I'm excited we lost because it's, what? Oh, no. Definitely to that team. Yeah. Let's pay some bills real quick. Shout out to Boston Scientific Fan Focus segment of the day. ED can affect your self-esteem and impact your most important relationships. So take a free online assessment that you can share with your doctor. Click the ad to learn more. There is a permanent satisfying solution to treat ED. Click the ad or visit edcure.org to get the facts and find a urologist who can offer treatment options that work when others don't. Again, that's edcure.org, sponsored by Boston Scientific.
You're listening to
I'm a superstitious dude.
Do it live.
I might have to switch this picture back.
In front of the millions.
Of Cowboys fans to bring you the real. But for now, strap up and
gentrification.
Here's your host, Skywalker Steele.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you. We'll do it live.
Oh, that's hilarious. Gentrification Sky. Man, I'm weird with the I'm not like really superstitious. I'm just a little stitious. We was 4-1 or whatever when the other bull was on there. I'm just saying. Should I switch it up? Should I switch it back tomorrow? We'll see. Maybe I'll switch it back tomorrow night. No, hey, Luns, I feel you. There's people out there that was believing this ridiculous thing, but I don't think you needed that, right? Like 17-20, he already was playing terrible. Get this dub, man. It's still the same. My guy Fresh. Is that Fresh? Different Fresh. Fresh King 36 says, but Cooper's not going to go out and score you 21. Hasn't happened yet. I mean, I really, Professor O's up in here. When's the last time the Cowboys have went? Was it the Quincy Carter era? The first 6 games of the year, they have not scored more than 2 touchdowns. I know, Nick. I know. That's why I'm moving here. When's the last time that happened? 325. What it is? What it do?
Hi, it's Daniel from Abilene. How do I sound?
You sound great, man.
All right, cool. So I got a couple points, but before I get to my pre-planned content, I agree. We didn't need this loss. Like you said, maybe like week 17, something like that, but we just need to keep winning and building that identity. But no, Leighton Vander Esch was the first one I just wanted to say real quick. I hadn't been a fan of his, but he was going a little bit crazy from what I could tell. And number 2 is I need some insight. Did I not see Tyler Biotish manhandling a little bit of Jordan Davis last night?
I have no clue, but I'll know later.
No, because I got a little bit of rewatching new myself, but I think what I saw last night, and it might have been like double teams kind of catching the corner of my eye, but
pretty sure it was double teams because ain't no way Biotish is single-handedly handling Jordan Davis, but we'll take a look at it.
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking. So I will be mind blown if it was anything but double teams. But I was really, really happy with what we did in the run game at times.
Yeah, the run game was part of our good, bad, and the ugly. It was the good, man, and I think the best part of the run game was getting back to it, right? Like what I mean is you're down 20-3. You didn't abandon it. You went back to it, settled your quarterback down, and you ran it 14 times and 6 play actions off of it, and you got back in the game.
What's funny is my roommate is a huge Cooper Rush fan. I was having to battle him this whole time. He was so down on him after, we got down 20-3. And for the first time, this entire little exchange that we've had, I was telling him, man, let's just slow it down. Cooper Rush ain't going to, he ain't going to win you the Super Bowl, but he could come back a little bit. And sure enough, he steadied up a little bit. He was still kind of Cooper Rush, but he steadied up. And I was glad to see the game get into manageable hands.
They went into the play action, man. We talked about what works for Cooper Rush is play action. When he's doing play action, now he did throw an interception in play action, but when he's doing play action, man, he just seems to be a bit more comfortable. And that playing off of that run game that was successful got them back in the game. But hey, Doc, appreciate the call, man.
You too, man. Can't wait to see 4 out there.
Oh, next week. It's here, man. It's here. Appreciate you. I don't want them to get away from that. I mean, the 6 play action passes that they ran in the second half alone on those 2 drives were more play action passes than they ran in week 1. Like, don't go away from that, man. And you can just do it in a more creative way now because you got a quarterback that can do more things. And creative doesn't mean you're being super aggressive in a sense, right? But you can get back to maybe getting Turpin involved. You can get back to some of the RPO stuff, right? Do some of that. All right, let's get to my guy, Mel. I'm going to read some super chats, then we up out of here. We got busy day. What's good brother, Mel?
King Scott, what it do, baby?
What's up with you, man?
It ain't a victory Monday, man, but it's still a great Monday, brother. Man, really looking at the game, bro, I just kind of felt like we was unprepared, just really overall. And it's not necessarily really, I'm going to say Dan Quinn's, I don't want to say his fault, but I just kind of felt like even DQ might have been a little bit unprepared because we just were not. We got our coach, brother. I mean, the reason Michael was put into a blender because it just really seemed like we were not prepared as a team for the RPOs. And I really feel like, you know, if we would have been prepared for that, Michael would not have looked like that last night.
Well, I got to push back on you a little bit, man. If it's one coach that I believe that comes into a game prepared, it's Dan Quinn. I wholeheartedly believe he didn't just ignore the RPOs in preparation, because that's what their offense is. I have a hard time believing they came into this game unprepared. I think what happened was they just got out-coached. I think those are two different things, right? Like, you can be unprepared and not get out-coached. You just were unprepared. That's just terrible preparation. Or you can be prepared, but you got out-coached. They made their adjustments, or they had schematics that they maybe didn't show on film, or they found your weak spot and you didn't have an answer to it. I have a hard time believing that Dan Quinn came to this game saying the thing they do 98% of the time, we're going to ignore and be unprepared for it. You feel what I'm saying?
I do. But definitely when we looked at film throughout the course of the week, a lot of what we saw was the screen game. Even when I saw other games outside of
you saw that from the Cardinals. That's what you saw that from the Cardinals, and I kept saying that wasn't normal for them. That's not really their game. I think they did that because of how aggressive the Cardinals were. But we're not. We might have watched 2 games, 3 games. They're watching all their games.
Right. It just really felt to me like we did not know how we wanted to handle those RPO situations, and it definitely felt like they did put Micah in a position where it was like, okay, do you want to take the quarterback, or are you going to take the other option? And it seemed a lot of times like he was trying to do both. Like he was trying to be like, all right, if you do this and if he pass it, I'm going to run and make the play down the field. It just felt like they kind of put him in a position where he had to make decisions, and he just decided a lot of times to do both. But that was kind of my thing on that. My other thing was on the offense, man, with Kellen. I don't want to sound like I'm bashing on Kellen, but I definitely felt I'm going to go back to kind of what Philly did. They came in with a clear, precise game plan where it was like, we're going to attack this and we're going to do it this way. I'm still just not seeing that with Kellen, where it's like, okay, this is their weakness or this is their strength, and this is how we're going to attack it. It just really seems to me like he does get in a rhythm at times where he's calling good plays, but it still don't feel to me like he's coming in with a game plan on what we should be attacking and how we can attack it. It just still seems to me like, all right, I done called a couple of good plays and we got into a rhythm, but it still don't seem to me like he's coming in with game plans to really accentuate either the strength of the team or hide the weaknesses, bro.
Yeah, the first 15 didn't look good again for the second week in a row. The Cowboys ran for 5 yards, I believe it was exactly 5 yards, and then the next play they went shotgun pass. It's on the road. I don't think that's smart. You know what I mean? Get your quarterback kind of in a rhythm, get him comfortable, and they come out and go shotgun pass, 3 and out for the second week in a row after your defense got to stop. So, yeah, Kellen Moore is definitely he hasn't really had a good first 15 since what? The Cincy game? Which
Maybe
is crazy.
The Cincinnati game.
Which is crazy. Because if you go look at how they ran off the Cincinnati game, it was play action. It was attacking the edges. And he just put that back in my pocket. For what? For who? For what?
It's like, I felt like Philly was like, okay, we know our quarterback runs good RPO. Let's give him that. We know he runs good screen game. Let's give him that.
Who, our quarterback?
Like, okay, we know people run good play action.
Oh, you mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know why I said this on Twitter after they came out and they were running creatively to get that first touchdown. I said, why didn't we do that to start the game? Like, what are we trying to? Are there the stands out there saying Cooper Rush changed the play? I know y'all love saying that crap. I don't know, but I don't know how you go first down, 5 yards, second down, shotgun, third down, shotgun for what? I don't get it,
bro. But man, brother, it's a week-to-week league. Like you say, man, let's get back on the horse. Let's see what happens this week, man. Hopefully, Dak can play. We'll be back at somewhat full strength offensively. And, man, let's see what we can do, bro.
All right, man. Appreciate you as always, man. We'll wrap on Twitter.
Yes, sir.
Let's get to a couple of these super chats here, man. Yeah, I'm trying to. I give him credit where it's due, but these last couple weeks, starting off the way he started off is just. I mean, we go look at the game script here. Like I said, 3 and out in the first, which was 5 yards. Was it 5 yards? 8 yards? Bro. We got 8 yards. And then we went pass. And then we went run on 3rd and 2 and only got 1 yard. Oh, jeez. Shotgun. So we went 8 yards CD Lamb, shotgun incomplete, shotgun run. Then the second possession, they went 5 and out. Not 5 and out. Five plays, and then they went for it on 4th and 4, which ridiculous. That was that. Was it 4th and? Oh, they didn't go for it on 4th and 4. I'm sorry. They went 3rd and 4 and incomplete pass to Hendershot. Just hasn't been good starts. Hasn't been good starts. He adjusted. Ain't crazy. Well, hey, we need Kellen to adjust. He adjusts, but he hasn't been starting off great. But eventually, man, the way you were playing offensively was not sustainable. Just wasn't. And it all came crashing down on you last night. All right. Sully, $5 donation. Appreciate you, man.
Super chat.
He says, when you look at the film, can you see if their O-line was getting early jumps? It seemed like they were. A lot of people on Twitter were saying that. Again, when I'm watching very differently than when I'm watching the film. But a lot of people online were like, hey, they're jumping. So, yeah, I'll keep an eye on it.
Super chat.
Lemitra with 2 of them. Appreciate you, the $2 donations. Apparently, the Uncut guys, he says, Uncut, please, with the name calling. Passion is good. But, yeah, I don't know what y'all saying in here. What's the issue? I mean, I usually let y'all deal with all the issues here, but I see y'all are really going at the bull. What's the problem here, Uncut? What are we doing here, man? And another one from Lemitra. I'm feeling we have fair weather fans in the chat. It's the Cowboys. You know that.
Super chat.
And then Miss Charlene with the banger earlier. I appreciate you, Miss Charlene. 99.99. For your mind, as my guy Law Nation would say. Thank you for that. Y'all got it handled. Man, what is the problem in here, man? Good Lord. All right. A said, I wouldn't say jumps. It seemed like they were fully set when the plays were snapped by Filthy. We'll see. I'll go take a look. I saw on the Jordan Mailata, the 4th and 4. People were saying, hey, man, he moved, but why would you even jump? 8 seconds left. The clock is ticking. They're going to go into the second quarter. That's to me, is on Dante Fowler there, man. That's Dante Fowler. All right, man. I apologize for the quick show today. Lots to do today. We're about to talk to the doc here in a few minutes. I'll get that out to you guys either probably tomorrow. And we're tomorrow's tail of the tape. We'll take a look at it. Get through it, then we start prepping for Detroit the next week. So I'll keep you guys updated. Hit that like button if you enjoy the show. Of course, as always, hit the subscribe button if you want to be a part of this community. And then later today, Mauricio Rodriguez will be live. A to Z Sports Prime Time to break it down. He's always giving you the goods, so make sure y'all check my guy out. Hit me up on Twitter. You can find my Twitter handle scrolling down here somewhere on the DFW Turf Ticker, the #1 artificial turf in the DFW area. All right. And all things Dallas Cowboys, hit up AtoZSportsDallas.com. Appreciate y'all. And press this damn button. Not the Monday we wanted, but according to some, the Monday we needed. Hate that. It's all good, though, man. This happens in the season. Now, how do you bounce back? We're about to see the Cowboys and see how they bounce back. Appreciate y'all. See you tomorrow. See you later. 3-ish Mafia over on the volume. Vosh and Barty Live. Y'all know we get it lit. Peace. Love you.